Penelope, the mountain pygmy possum. "Ah," said Penelope the mountain pygmy possum as she pounced on a bogong moth, "my favourite food," and she gobbled it up with a crackle and a crunch and a chomp and a munch. Penelope was very hungry, and no wonder. She had been asleep for most of the winter, curled up in her tiny home under a boulder high in the snowy mountains. She had lost a lot of weight as she slept, and she wasn't very big to start with, about the size of a mouse. That's why Penelope was called a pygmy possum. Her mate Percy had gone down the mountain with the other male pygmy possums where it was warmer. When he had told Penelope that the mountain winter was too cold for him, she had said, "What's a bit of ice and snow to a pygmy possum?" "It's my toes, Pen," he replied. "They get so cold. The warm woolly socks you knitted for me just don't do the job." "All right," said Penelope. "Go down the mountain with your other male friends then, and don't come back until spring." So Percy and his friends had gone down the mountain, across the open spaces, and spent the winter among the boulders where there was no snow and ice. Now it was spring in the snowy mountains. The snow had gone and the sun was shining. It was time for Percy and his friends to return to their mates. Penelope thought the same. She looked down the mountain, but Percy was nowhere to be seen. "Where's that Percy?" she thought. "He should be coming back by now." There was a real reason to worry. A big bulldozer had made a new road. It was blocking the path that the male pygmy possums used to get back to their mates. There was no other track. Cars were whirring along the new road at great pace. "We can't get across," said one of Percy's friends. "We will be run over, all of us. What will we do?" "I know," said Percy. "I'll ask Rick the ranger. He's a friend of the mountain pygmy possums. He will know what to do." Said Rick the ranger. "This is a serious problem. If you don't get back to your loved ones, there will be no baby pygmy possums in their mother's pouches this summer. There aren't many of you left in the wild as it is." "I know. We'll ask Fred the farmer to see what he thinks. He will want to help you. You eat up the bogong moths that ruin his crops." "I've got a bright idea," said Fred. "I'll lend you my big plough. We'll dig across the road and put in a large pipe to make a tunnel for the mountain pygmy possums to cross under the road and meet their loved ones. And we'll call it the Tunnel of Love." "Good one, Fred," said Rick. "That's not just a bright idea, it's a brainwave. And we'll get the road builders to help." The mountain pygmy possums are looking into the tunnel. They can see through the Tunnel of Love. After the tunnel was made, Percy thanked Rick, Fred and the male pygmy possums scampered safely through the tunnel and up the mountain to meet their mates. "It's great to see you, Percy," said Penelope, as the two possums snuggled up together in Penelope's little den, eating a couple of bogong moths with a crackle and a crunch and a chomp and a munch. "You have to thank Rick, Fred and the road builders," said Percy. "They built the Tunnel of Love." The end.